the Digitone only has 4 synth tracks. This makes it quite restrictive when you're programming drums. Let me show you. If we've got a kick on here, right, and we put them on the beat, if I want hi-hats here, I can't put hi-hats on because, you know, our trig's taken up by our kick. So the obvious thing to do is to go to another track with a hi-hat on it and then program that in. Fine. So we've got what we want, but there's, you know, this taking up 2 tracks, it's taking up quite a lot of trigs. And as well, if we look at the voices, you can see, let's turn reuse on for both of them. You see that on the step where we're using the hi-hat and the kick, we're using 2 voices. Now, there's one solution to this that's, there's other videos about, for example, from Liam Killian, I think. He made a video on this. So what we can do is we can use a cool feature of the Elektron sequencer to be able to change the sound on a particular step. And then we can copy and paste this into these steps here. Right, but now we still need the hi-hat that's on the beat as well. And what we can do is we can alter the micro timing here. Oops. Let's do that again. Of this and adjust it so that it's on the beat here. And let's put this. And we turn off voice reuse. And great. So now you can hear that we've got very similar to what we had before. The only problem with this though is, as you just saw when I had reuse on, there's actually 2 voices being used and the hat is choking the kick if we get it to reuse, and in fact so it's still taking up 2 voices, although it doesn't look like it is. It's much more compact, but there's still not a huge amount of space here. As well, we could add in snares probably, but if you want to add, you know, cowbells or something else, then you're getting limited on your space. And I think, you know, there's another solution to this, an alternate solution which has strengths and weaknesses relevant, which I'll come back to at the end, relative to it. But you know, we've got this other solution that we can use that's using really the strength of the Digitone itself, right? The synth engine is really amazing and really flexible, and we can use some features of that in order to get around this in certain ways, with some particular limitations. Now, on the Digitone, each sound has this X and Y output, where you can see that the output sound is coming from different carriers, so from either C, the carrier, here, or this B2, which can also be used as a carrier. Now, what that sounds like, if we bring up the levels of A and B, is that we can fade between these 2 sounds. Now, in this algorithm, we've got these operators are all connected together into this carrier here, right? So if I tweak B, it'll affect the sound of A, but not all the algorithms are like that. In fact, 2 and 7 and 8 are not like that. It's got 2 sort of independent channels. And so this means that this is a good candidate for making a kick and a hi-hat, or, you know, 2 drum sounds and a single voice. Now the only problem with this is, of course, is that you're sacrificing half of the power of being able to tune the sound, but, you know, that's a small trade-off. And actually, drum sounds are generally a bit simpler a lot of the time. Well, you could make some crazy sounds, I suppose, but if you want a bit simpler sounds, then you can kind of get that out of here. So let's go about that and make a kick sound first. So let's reduce down these operators C and A, the ratio down to 0.5. So sort of non-integer out values of these, it ends up being more dissonant, which is kind of good for drums, in my opinion. We can also detune it a little bit. And of course we need to change the envelope on the amp in order to make it sound more like a kick drum. Add a bit of detuning. We'll also bring down the envelope on this, so it's got a bit more of a thud. And then as well, we might want to put some resonance on. We can't use this low pass filter, or we will end up getting rid of our hi-hat, right, as we go down to put resonance on it, but we can use the high pass filter wherever it might be. There we go. Alright, give it a bit more punch there. And maybe, yeah, this is maybe a bit more sizzle. Right, so that's not too bad there at all. We can also tweak the harmonics on C, because this won't affect. So I'll leave that as it is, I think. You can also tweak the offset as well, the ratio offset. So sort of tune it, and it changes the profile quite a lot. So that's quite nice there. So I think that's sounding pretty good. You could definitely tweak it a lot more to get a different sound out of it. But let's say that's our kick there. Now we want our hi-hat on the Y output. So it's operator B1 and B2 that are affecting that. So let's bring this up. Increase the pitch of it a bit. And we'll add some feedback in, right? I might reduce this down. Let's get that bit in. So that's fine, I think. We can take a little bit of the high end off using the bass filter. It's not ringing quite so much now. And we'll tweak the levels of. Now, the level of operator B is a bit trickier because it alters, first of all, B2 and then B1 and then B2 back again. So I'll play around with that. So I think that's a reasonable enough sound. And so now we can mix between them. Right? That's our kick. Our kick. And our hi-hat there. Right. So now of course we can put that onto our sequencer, and let's put our, and now we need them on the and as well. So we can put this on here and we can parameter lock this. So it's just a hi-hat, and let's I'm gonna, well, okay, no, I'll leave it like this just now, but I'm gonna tweak it again in a second. And you can see here that so there we go, we've got a single voice now, right? A single voice that's here, that's the kick and the hi-hat, and we're just parameter locking between them, and we've got both of them on this step here, and just one of them here, and of course you can have the kick independently as well, and it's not taking up any extra voices or whatnot. So this is really nice. Of course, it is restrictive in some ways, right? Because you can't use operator B1, B2 to make a more complex kick sound, but there is some more stuff that we can do to tweak this. Now, one thing is that you might want to tune the velocity a little bit on here, because it rings a bit more on these steps, and you can kind of normalize out the velocity of the hi-hat a bit more, make it a bit more uniform. Another, and these ones I've not thought about a huge amount, so there's definitely drawbacks with these. Again, if you've got lots of steps now that you can use, but say that you wanted sort of 16th note on your hi-hat, then you can, without taking up those spaces, you can potentially use your delay to do that. So if we go into the settings for your delay, if you hold down function, you can get divisions that are based on the clock. And so we can go 1/16th down here. If we're careful with our high, or we can filter out with our high-pass filter here. Well, it's a sort of bandpass filter if you bring it down. But we can filter out some of the lower end, so we are filtering out the kick. And then let's turn off ping pong now. So there we go, we've got 16th notes there. So good, and you can add the ping pong on to have a bit of variation in the sound. So that's one way that you can do it, and you've got all of these other steps where you can do something else as well. The other thing that you can mess around with is, well, I've shown you a kick and a hi-hat, and they're quite compatible because the hi-hat uses noise, but the kick doesn't have to use noise. But if you wanted noise on this output X, and to make a snare, for example, well, that would be a bit more, you can't do that, right? It's no noise in it. But you can use the LFO to generate noise. If we pick something that only affects, let's say ratio A, something that only affects the Y output, not the X one, and then we go to random here, and then we change the speed of this up very high, we can generate some noise. And we use this kick mode here, this trig mode here. So we can increase. All right, let's turn off the delay on that. So we can make a bit of noise on that, and actually we could tune it further by changing the depth using the other LFO, and then change it to this as well, and reduce the speed here. So you can change the character of this. And of course you can play around with this. To get something that's closer. Now, I've not played around with this a huge amount. I'm sure that you could tweak it an awful lot more to get a snare and a hi-hat, for example. And you could keep your hi-hat settings the same as you've got for your kick drum, for example. And then you can put them on alternate steps, and then you've got your hi-hat and your snare that you can fade between as you need to. So hopefully you found that useful. If you have any comments relating to this, please leave them down below. And I'm still learning the Digitone. Maybe you've got different ways to do this, or different sort of ways that we can modify this. Please let me know. I'm really interested to hear them. Thanks very much for watching.